Listen, Emoni Bates is him. There's a lot of teams that passed up on him. I think they're going to regret it. Let's talk about that and more right now. Listen, if you're new to the channel, this is P.kidd Talks NBA. You know who you came to see. You know who you came to talk about. Let's get into it, man. Emoni Bates has been cooking. Now, he did have a choppy game, but this last game, he showed me a couple of things that I think people take for granted. Elite scoring at the NBA level, even in a summer league situation, you can't fake that. Most people have seen that he was a volume shooter in college, and they have all these monikers on him and things of that nature. But the one thing I've always said is he can score with the best of them. I think with a little more, polish and things of that nature, he can be a force to be reckoned with in the NBA. I've really felt that way about his game once I've seen him. And the way he moves, the way he can create a shot, things of that nature, has a better handle than I give him credit for. I think that ultimately, while I know why he was drafted a little late, obviously we know some of the issues that he had, things of that nature. It's a very unfortunate situation, but I think the Cavs have found themselves a real gem that will not only be a pivotal piece for them, but I can see himself making it cracking a start lineup by the end of the season. It looks like the Cavs are already in a couple unique situations. Let's talk about that as well. One, it seems like they have put out some fillers about Darius Garland. I see a lot of redundancy there. Having Donovan Mitchell cooking the way that he does and things of that nature kind of really does diminish a little bit of what Darius Garland brings to the table. Now, they can start in things of that nature, but it reminds me of a very much so like the Colin Sexton, Darius Garland situation. But this time, let's just imagine Colin Sexton times 2, because Donovan Mitchell has evolved into that guy. We've seen those two line up. We've seen those type of players line up. I can see them right now just in a situation, and Brian Windhorst has kind of hinted toward this, that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to do something to shake some stuff up, because they do have some good pieces. They got some pieces. Exactly what those pieces may be, I'm not going to sit there and speculate that much, because I don't want to put out any false narratives. But one thing I do know is it may be a guard involved. And that guard ain't going to be Donovan Mitchell. So we know we're talking about Darius Garland. And those reports have kind of floated. Now, whether that happened before the season starts, about All-Star break, the one thing I will say is I think that Emoni Bates entering the scene will give you less of a need for a player like Darius Garland paired with a Donovan Mitchell, because you don't have to worry about where else you're going to find offense. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have put together a really good team. They've put together a team that ultimately can compete at a high level. I had them ranked as a top 4 team for the most part, the better part of last season. They did have some injury issues and things of that nature. They kind of fell off toward the end, but for the most part, they were pretty steady. I think that now, seeing the emergence of Donovan, seeing how he kind of fits into that mode on the Cavs, and now having Emoni Bates, I can see him doing one or two things. One, if he's not cracking the starting lineup, I can see that kid, just how he plays, how he shoots, how he goes after it, how he attacks the game of basketball. I can see him being in those type of conversations where maybe he doesn't get a Rookie of the Year situation, something like that. But if he's sustainable in this particular spot, you may be looking at like, has that rookie ever won 6 Man of the Year? I don't want to put that narrative out there, but it's like you got to really look at what they need. You got to really look at what he does and what he brings to the table and who the player he is. Emoni Bates is one of those players where you put him on the floor. Oh yeah, it's go time. He gonna go get his. Now, that may be something good or bad. That's something that, like I said, has to let that game come to him a little bit. But he's going to be something. He's going to be something there. I think ultimately, if he cracks that starting lineup, you may be looking at one of the next future stars in the league. I really do think that highly of Emoni Bates. I hate the fact that he got drafted in the second round. I hate the fact that he has. You got to think about it. What are the chances that he reclassifies and ends up in the same draft class as Victor Wembanyama? Like, did you even see that happening when that all happened? Probably not. And then also the issues that he may have had on his own. Like, he's a very raw kid. Let's be honest, right? He seems a little rough around the edges. But most of us, especially if you're from where I'm from Chicago, you kind of get used to that. That don't mean anything to you. I'm pretty sure he's a cool dude, right? But from appearance wise, you got to understand these are owners, billionaires, $1 billion organizations trying to make decisions for their future. So going pretty high on him, I can see why they didn't or why they wouldn't take that particular risk. However, The talent again, not to be repetitive, but I mean realistically, you can't deny it. In summer league, there's only been a few people who I've seen that be able to cook the way he has, and most of them, for the most part, have gotten drafted way higher than he has. Some of them are even already starters on their particular team. So when you really line that up, you have a talent. Summer league for most of these players really is them fighting for their careers. Some of them are literally fighting for the opportunity to see more tick and things of that nature. Some people will say it don't matter. It absolutely matters. Summer league absolutely matters to change the trajectory of some of these careers. And I pray and I hope that he gets the chance. And I hope that he keeps everything in check on his personal side as well, so that he can see that come to fruition. Because at the end of the day, I think that he's one of those players that could be next up. But I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear if you're an Emoni Bates fan, whether or not you are or not. I want to hear it in the chat. Give me your comments. Give me your thoughts, whether it's love, whether it's hate. Put it in there. If you're a Cavs fan specifically, we've heard some of these rumors. Brian Windhurst has said it multiple times. Something's gonna shake there. I want your thoughts. I want your speculation on who could be on the move, who could be coming. Give me your thoughts on that as well. Again, whether it's love, whether it's hate, put it in the comments. I'll be in there with you. Till next time. Peace.